Hello there, people of the internet. I'm out here with another RTI grab. This right here is an 1891 Carcano long rifle. Wow, this really is a very long rifle. I have been wanting a full-length 1891 pattern for a long time. The issue is they're hard to find, and RTI is the only place that I can get one without spending a tremendous amount of money on it. I was going to do an unboxing with these, but the gun store needed to open them up and, get the information on the inside. So right there is our box. They came in a long box, that right there. And then it was surrounded in bubble wrap, and it had this cardboard over it like that. And there you go, there's your unboxing. That saved us about 20 minutes of me wasting your time cutting through that thing with a knife. So this right here is a 6.5 Carcano. This is the original 1891 long rifle. And the rifle itself is actually in quite decent shape. We do have one single crack in the wood. Right. Let's see if it'll pop up on camera there. Right there. That is our one single crack. The finish on the rifle, we still have plenty of finish on this thing, considering that it is 110 years old at this point. So tons of finish still on the rifle for the age of it. It is a tourney produced, and this one was made in 1912. So this is a World War I rifle. Our rear sight is intact and functional, which is not something that you see often on the B-grade rifles. We do have another little crack in the stock right there, I guess, but that is in our upper handguard. So it's not necessarily something I'm all that concerned about. And, well, besides that, it is a whole rifle. We got ourselves all of our sling swivels. We got ourselves our cleaning rod. We got ourselves, well, everything that we need. The safety is here. The firing pin is here and functional. The bolt itself is obviously here and functional. The extractor on the inside is functional. The rifle itself is functional. Pull the trigger and the firing pin will drop and set off a round. So, yeah, all in all, for a B-grade rifle, as far as looks goes, this right here is a really, really good grab. Now, of course, there is luck of the draw whenever you're getting any kind of military surplus. Some things are great, some things are not. And this right here is an example of a rifle that looks absolutely fantastic. However, there is one significant problem with this rifle, and I'm sure a lot of you can already guess what it is. And that would be this right here. Right there is our bore. This right here is a 6.5 Jap. It's a 264 diameter bullet. I don't have any 6.5 Carcano on hand. And this barrel just absolutely swallows it. So this right here is not going to be an accurate rifle. Now, normally with these rifles that I get from places like RTI, I tell people I have a milling lathe machine, so I can just counterbore these things. So that's really not that big of a deal. But this one is different. This one is special. I have never, ever seen a barrel as bad as this one right here. This barrel is so horrendously worn that it literally has no rifling inside of it. From here, like all the way from the chamber, all the way to the barrel, there is zero rifling inside of this thing. I even cleaned out the barrel with a wire brush and bore solvents, and I cleaned it until it was very, very well cleaned. There is no rifling left inside of this barrel. It is just a straight sewer pipe. And honestly, I was expecting to get myself a rifle that was going to keyhole anyway. I was not expecting to use this one as a shooter. What I wanted was a long rifle in 1891 original pattern Carcano for the collection for display and representation purposes, because I have this YouTube channel here. A lot of times whenever people get rifles like this, they think that they are going to get some kind of dirt cheap surplus that they can go out and use as a shooter. And of course, I do enjoy shooting my surplus rifles. But there's times like whenever I'm buying from RTI where I'm not expecting to get something that I could actually, use as a functioning firearm. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a particular pattern of rifle. And for the B-grade sales that they have at RTI, you literally cannot beat it. This right here is an excellent rifle to use for display and representation purposes on my YouTube channel and for my videos, or just to show them off. I have several patterns of Carcano, and I always talk about the long rifles, but I don't actually have a long rifle, at least not up until this point. So the whole point of me getting this rifle, this was not for me to take out shooting. In fact, especially at the price point I got it at, I was very, very much expecting to get something that was going to keyhole and not be accurate. Now, Now, all of that being said, I am willing to bet that this rifle is going to function. Although the barrel is quite worn, the bolt, the lockup, all that right there seems safe. I did not see any hairline fractures. It seems like our magazine is up and fully functional. The end-block clip system down there has no obstructions or bends or anything inside of it like that, so I'm willing to bet that the clip will probably fall out of there just fine. And besides all of that, our firing pin drops. Our safety here is functional, although it might be a little hard to do that with the way that the rifle is on the camera. There we go. Our safety is there and fully functional, and our firing pin is whole and complete. So I'm willing to bet that if I were to shove a round inside of this rifle and pull the trigger, then it would fire. Now, I do want to point out that this right here is actually a 268 diameter hole, or 268 diameter bore, and this right here is a 264 diameter bullet. That 4/1000ths of an inch is not going to matter to the point to where it would swallow the entire bullet like that, because this not only swallows it, it's like hot dog down the hallway. I can move it around and shake it around. Like that is significantly swallowed. It's swallowing the neck of the 6.5 Jap cartridge up to the crimp. So just for funsies, I'll probably take this rifle out and send some rounds through it just to see how much it keyholes, or even if it doesn't keyhole. I know I have a Mosin Nagant rifle that has like the worst possible sewer pipe barrel that I could ever imagine besides this one, and it does not keyhole. So that being said, this right here might surprise me, and it might not keyhole, although I very much do not have high hopes for that. So, this right here is a 1912 production. This right is a tourney-made rifle. Right here's our serial number. We got proof marks all along the sides of the barrel. The sights are, like I said, functional. I think that this is a 400-yard sight, or maybe with this down it's a 400-yard sight, and with it up maybe it's a 200-yard sight. I can't quite remember about the Carcano sighting system. We have no cartouches or anything on the stock, but the stock is in fact in fantastic shape. All in all, I am overwhelmingly happy with this purchase. It's not going to be an accurate shooter, and I kind of knew that stepping into it. If you're going to buy the B-grade stuff from Royal Tiger Imports, just automatically expect that you're going to get a rifle that's not going to be accurate. And that's simply because of the amount of use that these rifles have gotten. These things are tools, and tools wear out over time, and these things are literally a century old. They were used in worldwide conflicts for many, many, many generations. So do not, get one of these dirt cheap surplus rifles expecting to get yourself a shooter. Now, this one right here is functional. It will probably go bang. But I'm not expecting to hit anything beyond like 20 yards with it, simply because the rounds are going to be keyholing. I would bet money on them keyholing. Like, if they don't keyhole, I will eat the hat that I am wearing. But I am very pleased with the actual looks of the rifle, and this right here is going to serve my purposes for getting the rifle, which is to, serve as representation purposes. A lot of people, whenever they buy surplus like this, especially the cheap B-grade stuff, hoping to get lucky, you don't always get lucky. And in this case, I got lucky with the looks, but not with the bore condition. And that's just one of the things that, you can come to expect. I tell people all the time, well, not all the time, but I tell people a lot of the times whenever I'm showing off surplus rifles like this, if you get yourself one that looks like it's in pretty good shape, odds are the bore is going to be very shot out and very not good, because the rifle, being in good condition, good functional overall condition, means that it will continue to be used. However, I showed off in a video, it might be up by now, it might not be, but I got an M95 straight pull rifle that has broken wood and it is severely messed up. And if it was, if we were talking a military arsenal back in the 100 years ago or so, whenever that rifle was being used, and they saw the broken up wood and whatnot, they would choose not to use that rifle. They'd stick it in storage and have it await repairs. So that rifle, although on the outside it's torn up and busted up and whatnot, the inside bore of that thing is actually quite good. As a matter of fact, there's life left inside of that M95 straight pull rifle, simply because it was all tore up and whatnot. So you can either get yourself a good looking rifle that has a bad bore, because those are the rifles that would have been used because they're still viable for military service, or you can get yourself a rifle with a really good bore and torn up cosmetics. So ultimately, you're going to have glass half empty, glass half full kind of situation. Personally, It depends on what it is I'm wanting the rifle for. Like, I'll take a rifle that's all damaged and beaten up if it has good historical provenance behind it, and especially if it means that I'm going to get a good bore. But in this case, I wanted a rifle for display and representation purposes. So in this particular situation, I will take a good-looking rifle over, or a good-looking rifle with a bad bore over a bad-looking rifle with a good bore. So that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Of course, the tool is going to matter, or the tool is going to be needed for the job that you need, and for the job of display, cosmetics is what we need. But for the job of shooting, a bore is what you need. So ultimately, you have to decide what it is that you're looking for. So all of this being said, yeah, I'm actually incredibly pleased with this rifle. I think it's going to clean up very, very nice. So thanks for watching, folks. I do appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day, and I reckon I'll see you guys on the next video. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.